Okay, so we're live. Today is the 19th of March 2023, and like the sun shining outside. So yeah, the time is 14 quarter past 2 a.m. Already forgot how to like pronounce the time. This is the last report of the current leap. Um, And to be honest, I cannot really believe that I will be able to get to this point, but here we are. I guess we can also I can show you something to look on, as you can now just see the black screen. It's like yeah, so the week, this one. Okay, hello, let's go. And um, the information is within this folder, Scratchpad. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, we have like this. Yeah, so we are ready now. That's the whole preparations. I can already say that this will be like the failed week, and that's it. That's now we can close this thing for now, and let's go for the for my notes. Uh, I haven't written a script, so I mean I've written some bullet points, but overall there is no like a strict script as with the previous leaps. So like expect less structure than usual. Today I want to discuss mainly 3 points, which is like it won't be like with other with previous weeks where I've discussed the focus areas. Today I want to discuss like the conclusion for the week. Um, so yeah, I want to discuss where I succeed during this leap. What were the drawbacks? Then we'll discuss how will I move forward and some other things, of course, as I've got some pretty interesting insights from this week. So yeah, let's start. Let's start first with what I consider as a success. And I think that the fact that what that was the first and the single system that I was able to create and create by myself, of course, and it already was working for it's already been working for the whole 70 days, which is today is the last day of the first sleep. And for me this is kind of impressive, because usually the systems I create by myself I'm easily abandon them. I can easily abandon them, and usually this is the case. So I just like forget about the system and it stops working, of course, because like I'm the only maintainer and the only beneficiary from the system. But yeah, so this system is a huge win, of course, because I think it's like we have documented weeks here. I've uploaded 10 videos to YouTube, and this will be the 10th video. And yeah, I think for me this is a huge milestone. I don't feel any emotions, like any strong emotions, because this is not the right word. But I definitely think that I definitely think that I'm on the right track. So yeah, this was basically the single success. Now we'll continue with 2 failures. The first failure is that, like as it stated here, like priorities which are stated here should be reconsidered. So I've called it focus areas because I didn't know at the time how should I call this. Like now I have more rich vocabulary to call them. But these focus areas were kind of too loose, and I mean, some of this is not like the area to focus, so it doesn't create any practice. I'll explain further down the road what I mean by that in the next chapter. But for now, the only thing to get from this point is that the focus areas, the focus of concept areas, appear to be very loose, very vague, and I really haven't focused enough on focused areas. We can go retrospectively and look that I have failed the first week, failed the third, failed the fourth, 6 was a disaster, 9, 10 failed, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and succeed minus minus I also consider as a failure. So I failed 70% of times, and the weeks when I succeed were the weeks where I was forced to do these focus areas because of deadlines, not because let's take for example TOEFL, which I was able to successfully pass. I've kind of worked on TOEFL only when I had to, so it wasn't a practice. So I didn't create any environment where I could any framework, conceptual framework, methodology that I should stick to in order to fulfill this TOEFL, whatever it means, TOEFL focus area. So yeah, it was to lose, and the weeks when I succeed were actually the weeks where I think I had to prepare for TOEFL. So somewhere here I've passed it, I guess here, maybe, I don't even know. So yeah, these focus areas are very ambiguous, and actually they're not a clear guidance as I wanted them to be. And the second failure, which I consider a more objective one, is that even for myself, these videos are boring to watch. So I don't know what to do with this. Maybe because the conclusions are very trivial, or maybe because I'm not a native English speaker and I'm still in the different language environment. So that's why I'm kind of slow speaker, or etc. etc. So I guess that videos do seem boring, which they really are. So even if I am bored, I don't know what do other people think about this. And as these videos are one of the purposes, one of the priorities for these videos is to document my own path to kind of the ideal state I want to be. Ideal in not in brackets but in quotes, so quotation marks. Yeah. So they should be entertaining in some sense. Yeah, I mean, maybe I still don't prepare much for them, and for now, as I'm still oiling the system and rebuilding it basically every 70 days, I guess it's not very well fit together. So I'll try to improve on this. I maybe think that I will capture some video game footages. I don't play games much, but I mean, for 1 hour a week, I guess I will be able to record some of my gameplay and then put it just in the background for you to watch on the dynamic picture and maybe capture more information. So yeah, this still will be a podcast style videos, but for now it won't be a static picture as it is now, but something more dynamic, and I guess it will definitely add some dynamics to the video and will make it less boring. So yeah, that was the first chapter. I was able to talk about it for 10 minutes, which is nice. Now we have the next chapter, and it is about how I will move forward. So of course, as I've discussed some drawbacks, I also have to address them, as the deal is not just the deal itself, it's the action to achieve it. And the deal was that we have to change the system, and the actions will be the following. I decided to step off the Obsidian as the main tracking platform, as I fully understand the how is it called? Like when you have differentiation of responsibility, is it called such? But Obsidian is just should be the way to manage knowledge, not the way to track things. It has some limitations to like you cannot really do analytics. Your data is in metadata format. I mean, of course, it could be like the ultimate combine of many different things, but I guess that Obsidian's main purpose is, of course, not tracking. It is not tracking, but rather to contemplate. It's like a tool for thought, not for tracking. And in order to address this issue, I moved to the Google Sheets. So this is the preview of the system, tracking system. I already had something similar for like, I guess, 1.5 years or so, but for the last half year, I haven't like really emphasized the system enough. So yeah, here you can see we have a date, which is like a time series. And I also think that the course for the time series that I am currently undertaking in university is like serves a purpose for me to move into the system where you have like the time series. I dedicated a column for the comments. So here we have like the minimum load for the upcoming days. I have some comments, some like marks about the leap startings, etc., etc. Here we have the habits, which I will discuss further down the road. For example, for now, I decided to stick to a simple habit, which is to brush teeth twice a day. Currently, I'm brushing my teeth one time a day, so I guess this will be a nice habit to like achieve and see whether the system and the tracking system actually works. Then we have some practices, which I'll explain a little bit further, which consists of 3 practices for now, which is the JavaScript and my thesis, which I labeled as university, as I'm still learning at university. And basically from the 1st of April, which is 2 weeks from now, I will only do thesis at my university. So yeah, this is legit name for the thing. So yeah, pretty much that's all. That's the whole system for tracking. It addresses the issue where I kind of forgot, where I've kind of forgotten about the priorities. So now I will have to go here each day and get 30 minutes by utilizing these 2 categories, which means that at the end of the week I should have around like 7 times 30, it is 210 minutes, at least 210 minutes of the time spent on focus efforts. So next, instead of focus areas, which is like this thing, there will be 2 efforts. The efforts are just these things. So this is practices, efforts, etc., etc. I'll explain a little bit further in the next point, but for now it's just like I'll focus on 2 efforts, which is for this leap is JavaScript and university, 1 habit, and 1 world event. Now let's advance a little bit further in these concepts. So efforts is something that creates practice in design science terms. I guess this diagram will picture it better. So here we have, here we have, damn bro. Here we have a person, which is me, and a practice, which is a set of actions, set of like, it's basically the environment in which person operates. So here we have like an artifact which is used to address the problem. So this is kind of the goal of effort. So effort in these terms. So I hope you can see that we have the practice. It is where the person actually like do its thing, and here practice is depicted here as like these 2 columns, and like I hope the explanation is clear enough, but to be honest, like practice is is just a way to create, like to engage into some activities. So it's a set of activities. So for example, practice JavaScript includes activities like, I don't know, solving lead code in JavaScript, creating algorithms, which is basically solving lead code puzzles, maybe doing my thesis, as I have to still create like some sort of prototype for my thesis, which will also be in JavaScript. So this creates the practice. And then we have the university, which is thesis. So I have to engage in creating thesis, I have to read articles, I have to write something. And this is basically a set of activities which I'll define as the practice further down the road. So I hope the explanation is clear, what is effort and practice are all about. Now we have habits. Habits is an artifact to address the problem of inconsistency. For me, habit, as pointed out here, is something that has to have like 99% SLA, which is SLA stands for service level agreement. It's a thing from the service management, and it basically says what is your service uptime. So I want for habit to have an SLA of 99%, which means that like every 100 days of pursuing the habit, there can be only one day where I kind of cannot, or where I didn't do the habit. So yeah, pretty tough requirement, but I hope it will help me to pursue the habit and like create a set of habits, a set of working habits. Now let's move further. For the world event, it is not pointed out here, but I'll put world events here. The idea of world event is to experiment with different like restrictions of myself. So for example, let's take the Great Land, which is the current world event, so-called. It restricts me, at least one part of it. So the first half of it, which is not to beat the meat, I've already failed on the previous week, or maybe on the week before previous. But the second part of the land, which is the restriction of all the social media channels in like more general sense. So of course I still use YouTube, but I don't see recommendations, I don't see video previews. So yeah, it's still going on, and I think these restrictions are very refreshing and are also very important for a person to like explore its own like borders or something like that. So yeah, I mean, for example, the next restriction could be like to use only C++ for the next 70 days. So that's the restriction. But I think I will further explore this concept further down the second leap. As for now, we have the Great Land as the world event, and it will continue, I guess, for about 2 weeks, for about 8 weeks from now. So my current efforts are JavaScript as depicted here, university, which is writing thesis, and basically it's about thesis. I have one habit, which is brush teeth twice a day, which is, I've chosen this habit as it is a relatively easy habit to pursue, and yeah, I guess we have to start from something easy, which is all these leaps are actually about starting with something easy. So yeah, and an event, world event, is the Great Land. So yeah, that's it for the moving forward part. How much time it took? Another 10 minutes. So, and another 10 minutes I'll try to speak about the others part, which is of course a tradition to speak about the other things which happened in my life. And I've actually considered the fact that the only purpose of these videos is to record and like explore my current state of affairs in English and to put it in the social medias. So I treat it as something like, you can ask universe about something, and these videos are basically asking the universe. So whether like the viewers could be real humans or maybe bots, I don't bother. So just I put the message to the universe, to the YouTube, and I don't care what it goes to. So yeah, I mean, this is just the way for me to preserve the like the part of my life where I currently am actually. So yeah, this others thing is basically about it. The first thing I want to discuss is the Great Land. It's going great, as I've already mentioned. Of course, I mean the YouTube part of it, the social media part of it. Um, Gradually, I think I feel that, or maybe I think I feel is a very like different terms actually. So I feel how my ability to commit to something actually increases. It becomes stronger. So I still think that after these 70 days of land, I will return to YouTube, to watching YouTube in some way, but I kind of this this thing is going further away, and it kind of fades away, like watching YouTube in the previous form that I used to watch it. So I was constantly fed up by recommendation algorithms. I was constantly fed up by different viral content and scientific content. So now I guess after this after this restriction, I hope that I will able to remain my position against the YouTube thing. So I mean, watch it only in the case of necessity when I actually want to know specific things. So yeah, this is totally correct way of using YouTube, or maybe looking for some subscriptions, watching some. So basically, I treat YouTube as a good thing only in case if you decide what you want to watch, not the algorithms, but you. And that's it. That's the point. Another interesting thing that I was able to find during this week, it happened basically due to my friend's successful passage, or I guess. So my friend actually went to technical interview in one of our local top companies, top information technology companies. So we have like the search engine, which is called Yandex, and my friend actually went there and successfully passed an technical interview. And the thing that kind of struck me the most was that he was doing so for 3 fucking years. So that's kind of insane. It kind of impressed me a lot. And under this impression, I went outside for a walk, for the circle around my city, for one hour like walk basically. And I was able to explore something that reminds me the human core actually. So by human core, I mean this. It is called FI in MBTI. It is called like the mission of a company in the strategic management. So basically, that's the problem that that's the problem that your startup wants to solve. So yeah, this is basically the thing that makes up the essence of an entity. So successful startups have problems that they solve. This is their essence, to solve the problem. Humans, or maybe other people, which is basically the same things, other people have maybe their goals, their life priorities. You can call it whatever you want, but it kind of goes to, or maybe like shrinks to something like the core. So for me, this is the core, and I think I was able to find it. And again, there was a surprise in the sense that I think that after I'll be able to find it, the world will go upside down. I will be ultimate productive machine. But for now, I just have the statement which describes the core, and that's it. So yeah, I see the problem that I want to address. I see the mission that I want to like pursue. I see the kind of internal guidance I finally came to the conclusion what like the truly core of myself is, what bothers me the most, what I try to find in different activities. So it all comes down to the core. But apparently, or maybe unfortunately is the better word here, it didn't solve any of my um, any of my contemporary like problems. So I still have to think about my admission to foreign universities. I still have to think about how I will write my thesis. I still have to choose between JavaScript, C++, and plethora of other languages. So yeah, it didn't solve it, but it gave me some sense of internal guidance, and it was like the usage of fi function, which I really lack understanding about. So yeah, what else I wanted to think to tell? The next is, finally I realized that habits are crucial to the success. I kind of envision it as the world state machine. So we have like different states of the world and different states of yourself. So basically, the different state of words is somehow connected to the different states of yourself, but it's kind of different things, in to be precise. So yeah, I finally realized, and the word here, the actually word here is the microcosm. So microcosm is like a smaller representation of a system that have all the features of its large parent. And for example, the microcosm of life is the day, actually. So if you change the day, you can change your life. It's the only way of changing your life possible ever. And habits are kind of about the same. Habits are time agnostic things that you can containerize, just like Docker containers, that you have to do and build your world around habits. It's something predictable. For example, it's a concrete action, of course. And for example, if I stated here that I want to brush my teeth twice, that's a concrete action. And I can now think about what should I do to fulfill this habit next day, and the next day, and the next another day. And basically, this is a very simple example, but the habit could be much more, could have much more longing impact, basically. I don't know why I've decided to say basically at the end of the sentence, but no, bruh. And for example, if you want to have like yourself to end up in your ideal state, and ideal here is like in quotes, so quote unquote ideal state, you have to do ideal quote unquote habits. So for example, if you want to be a gigachat guy, you have to learn mathematics, do sport, be kind of nice to other people, like that's it. So basically that's the habit you have to develop. You have to like talk to your friends, talk to your community, like be generous, and it's all habits. So you definitely have to brush your teeth twice. You have to know mathematics. You have to engage in problem solving. These are all habits that you could build, that you can build, but they of course are very hard to build to start with, and because if it was the opposite, everyone would be like successful people, successful in brackets. Of course, I mean this state you want to end up in. So yeah, and by doing these habits, these are an exceptionally powerful leverages on your state machine. So that they are actually the only mechanism, the only thing you have to control where you will eventually end up in. So yeah, basically that's it. I hope this video, of course, I think this video was bored, as a pretty like the whole video was, I was just staring at the screen and you were staring like here. I want to say thank you for the sleep. The next one will be epic. I guess it will be another 70 days. I hope you like the video, and yeah, the message for myself for the future is that I think I can say that after these 70 days of tracked record, after doing some habit, so-called habit in the long run, so it was habit to sit to like record these videos in the on Sundays or Saturdays. But yeah, I think it had an immense impact on. I want to say that if you want to know, like, if you want to see the reasons and the causes of the state I'll end up with. So, for example, I will watch these videos like 20 years from now, and uh, I guess this video especially is something that kind of directed my life. So yeah, it basically was life changing. I don't know. I still don't know whether I will be in my so-called ideal state or I end up with in another state. I mean, no, I should say in another way, because I think that if I'll do the habits, I will end up eventually in the state that these habits represent. Can guarantee this, but I don't know whether this state is a successful state or like a disastrous state. I still don't know it. So yeah, that was the message for myself. Thanks for watching. 30 minutes from now. Bye bye.